Greetings and good morning, everybody, from all around the world, including the UK, where you're taking your life into your own hands every day. It's good to see you, Juliet. Many of the other folks that are joining us from across the globe. Bill Blum, YouTube reminded me more than an hour ago, early again. That's excellent. And again, one of the magic keys to making sure you don't miss your favorite creators, believe it or not, I know it sounds self-serving, but it's true, is for you to watch one of their videos and then another one immediately following. What that does is it reinforces your feed. That My Feed page that comes up at the beginning every time you launch YouTube is populated by the things that you watch the most, the people you watch the most, and the people you appreciate the most. And I appreciate Ruby Who for gifting a Culture Casino membership right now. So hopefully that answers your question, Bill. It is 100% related to what you regularly watch and what you consistently show interest in. There's the lovely Jill getting notices and haven't been unsubscribed. That's right. Yeah, that's been happening a lot too. My channel should be up over 50K right now. We should be closer to 60. I've been held back by YouTube. You guys can address that immediately by hitting a thumbs up on this video. If you're watching it on the replay, by making a comment like hashtag replaygang or anything like that. John the Beagle Dad, great to see you this morning. We got Snortopupus Q Burr. We also have my allergies being featured in today's show because I went outside. Yeah, I got everything in the greenhouse is going crazy, and everything in the property is going crazy, so I'm like full of pollen. Good morning, Georgia Peach. Hope your day is well. We've got Captain Fandom Nerd here. I hope you are well, my friend. And, of course, Ms. Pit Cafe holding down the green machine. For those of you on the green machine, thank you for your support over there. We're going to continue to do and add things over there as well, including the last couple of episodes of that garden place. So I owe you 2 more videos over there. Crazy White Boy is out there. Good to see you. Crazy White Boy and Cat Slave. What's up, Cat Slave? We got more folks here. More people here. We can talk about Fox. I have a lot to talk about. We've got some stories that were published even by that Park Place. I tried to add context to. That hasn't been published yet. Hopefully I will be published over there with that. Lord Thoth is in the house. Good to see you, friend. Thank you for being a moderator since the very beginning. We've got so many other people out there, like Barry the Music Man. Hey, what's going on? And just amazing numbers of people. Even Weatherman is here with a bad headache. Hello, all. Have a Hobo Gandalf and a dancing bear. That's right. Man, I gotta get into another costume, and the only way I can do that is if you guys, like, help. Please help. I think at 100K, I give you the Princess Leia, Slave Leia outfit. I'm sure that's what everybody wants to see. Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swifty. That's Matt G out there. He's got the band hammer. We also got JPRPH1, who already left me a comment on today's video. Thank you for that. Looks like Supergirl's in big trouble. All right, Jan Monroe is here. Hi, at work, working and lurking, but I have Wi-Fi. I never realized how much I must just picked up my tablet and tap search every day until I was someplace where I didn't have Wi-Fi. That's true. Gollum, what's up, Gollum? Fox News is no longer filling the gap they once did. Nope. They are way more shut down. That's because they have to appeal globally, and the UK just went super censorship mode, along with most of the other, so-called democracies. James Dosher's out there writing away. Hope you have a great day, my friend, and thank you for putting something good in the world. We've got lots of niches to fill. Maybe CBS is going to start doing that as well. Let's see who else is out there in the world. We got more folks. Like Barry the Music Man, writing a red down arrow with vertical words, here, you are here, and I appreciate it. 6 minutes starts now, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have to talk about the Fox deal right off the bat. Again, I've written an article that adds a much-needed context to this. Both sides of Fox's $22 billion Roku acquisition are calling it a streaming win-win. It is. The fact that Fox becomes not only a content creator, and we're talking about Fox News Corp, not the part of Fox that became part of Disney, but Wall Street has questions, but they shouldn't, because this is basically like controlling Comcast at this point. You are now a distributor in addition to be a content creator. So congratulations to Fox on this amazing deal. We'll talk in detail more about it in just a few moments during bonus time. Anya Taylor-Joy is going to star in The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, as an elf. That seems like that was exactly what she was born to play. I mean, her hyperocular telerism is, one of the features people find most striking about her. And, yeah, she has the right eye shape. So there you go. Hey, this guy's a scumbag and a grifter. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's Seth Meyers. Still a scumbag and a grifter. He's got a parade of Knicks walking through his show trying to promote the piece of garbage for June 16th and 17th. The Knicks won the championship this year, so congratulations to them. But this guy is a grifter. You know, we've got a lot of them. Oh, by the way, the Paramount politics in a tough year for incumbents. Oh, I hate deadlines so much. They are worried about the state AGs who are going to try to affect the election. They're also trying to affect this deal, and it's already been greenlit by the DOJ. I don't think anybody will have much to say, and they're not going to have as much ground to stand on when it comes to these two entities coming together. It's not going to hurt competition. The feds have already ruled on that. We'll see what actually comes of it. Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, are set for a new movie to release at Paramount in 2028. One of many. They are there for several years and walked away from the other entity, Netflix, who doesn't like theaters, despite the fact telling you just a few months ago, we're going to release everything in theaters, you big liars. We knew you were lying. Hey, Blake Lively again. That's right, and she is scummy. Yeah, it ends with a settlement. Blake Lively made a bold wager on a legal theory and lost because, you don't have any proof, and he does. And he also has text messages and other things. This lady destroyed her career, whether she knows it or not. Now, Only Murders in the Building is expanding with David Tennant, Niccolo Coughlan, Jodie Whittaker, and Jim Broadbent as this show goes fully woke. Oh, well, so much for Only Murders in the Building. What else we got? Well, we got this. Obsession. Is it going to be an Oscar-worthy contender? I think so, but the problem is maybe the studio doesn't seem so like it is. Maybe they don't put money behind the push. But ultimately, the Academy is the one that's going to decide if it met enough of their ridiculous criteria to be considered, at least for Best Picture. I'm kind of upset about this, but it is what it is. We'll have to see. Moving on, we have another grifter featured prominently. This person, I'm saying person for a reason, Laverne Cox says she's lost 90% of her income due to Trump's DEI rollbacks. Oh no, was this a grifter that was grifting on essentially just a laundry list of protected classes or, those types of things? Well, yes, they were. You've got this, Disney partnering with Barack and Michelle Obama's Higher Ground to make more communist stuff. Instead of peddling it at Netflix, they're peddling it in the form of an animated series called Journey at Disney. This is not going to go well. Moving forward, we've got a clash, reportedly, over Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg were not 100% on board with Crystal Skull and fought George Lucas over adding aliens. And then Spielberg went on to make the worst aliens film ever called Disclosure Day. So I'm not sure you can take that seriously. And this is Kathleen Kennedy's axe to grind, trying to discredit even more people on the way down, most especially George Lucas, because she's a scumbag and grifter. This is the Grifter Day, folks, and let's talk a little bit about Hank Azaria bothered by Taylor Swift's appearance at a Knicks game. So which one of these people is grifting? I, despite my great love of Hank Azaria's ability to be a character actor and voice actor, think it's him. Because Taylor's allowed to go to a Knicks game. I'm allowed to go to a Knicks game. Even Seinfeld's allowed to go to a Knicks game. And these people have been to Knicks games before. Pretty wild. Let's see, what do we got? We got even more things going on, like the deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz is done. It's going to be a couple weeks before oil will fully flow. But that's not the excuse that we should be listening to. Why? Because our oil prices are artificially high in the U.S. and shouldn't be, since we produce our own energy. We got some great commentary I'll get to in a moment, but stocks have leapt forward worldwide. Oil prices drop. The U.S.-Iran reached their deal, and there's some conversations happening with the Qatar and other places today and the president. G7 is going to be weird. It's interesting to watch Keir Starmer be ignored by the president at the G7 because they banned the under-16s from using social media apps, which we know is not the truth. Since Blue Sky is unaffected, they are blocking anything that doesn't toe the line or allow them control, which, again, in the UK, you are subject to the control all the time. They're filtering your appearance, and they are going to come after you for the crimes of thinking for yourself and having an opinion. What a scumbag. And finally, the judge tosses a lawsuit challenging civil rights agencies' pullback on transgender workplace protections. Because some people are more equal than others. At least that was what the argument was going to be. And a judge saw through it and said, no, thank you. And with that, we're going to head over to bonus time, which I really want to talk about because it includes a bear story. And you guys like bears. I like bears. Everybody likes bears. And Bear is out there somewhere. I miss that guy. He was a hardworking YouTuber, a hardworking man, and a good friend at a time when I needed one early on in my career here on the tube. But let's take a look at the bonus stories. We'll get to the super duper chats. Thanks for being here, everybody. A Colorado bear is forced camping restrictions at Gore Creek near Vail. This is a popular campground, especially this time of year, as people try to escape the heat near a ski resort. CBS News reporting on June 15th that campers at Gore Creek Campground near Vail are currently required to use hard-sided campers, RVs, or vehicles after a bear repeatedly damaged tents while searching for food. This is the problem with bears being too comfy with campers. There's a bear damaged tent looking for food. Yeah, you no longer are allowed to do this, at least not for a while. And fortunately, that was an unoccupied tent. And it's forced people to change plans, go to different campgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. But that's it. You cannot sleep on anything that's available to the bear. Yeah, we just threw a mattress in the back of the car. It's okay. Yeah, a lot of people did that. I've done that before in situations where it was too cold to be where I was. So, yeah, so the bears are now starting to go after the food, and they know that the food is where the people are. So, Colorado bear activity in a campground equals don't go camping there. And that's it. Now, let's take a look at what I wanted to show you. More on the Roku story. As, again, my story has not yet been published. The general facts and information is here, provided by our friend Marvin Montanaro. He says Fox acquires Roku for $22 billion in massive streaming power play that could reshape television. Fox Corporation has made one of the biggest moves in modern media history, announcing $22 million acquisition deal. Let me tell you this. Disney spent, and this is part of my story, which you'll get to, Disney spent over $100 billion trying to get caught up on streaming and become a major player. Fox just did it with very little effort after already controlling several other things like Tubi. They now control the actual box, the set-top box, and the TVs that they can now market from and earn ancillary revenue from, because they control the threads of the channels of what you're subscribed to, and they take a Roku tax, just like a Apple tax or a marketplace tax that even Android charges now. I have a feeling that this is going to go forward. And by the way, there's a thing called Roku Pay that you can tap into that'll allow you to even start using food apps and things like that, treating it just like Amazon. There's going to be shopping you can do on screen, all kinds of other things. And Fox now has a big piece of that. Fox is now its own distributor. Beyond being just a network, they're their own distributor. They essentially are the new version of a cable company, although they use the infrastructure of the cable company to secure revenue in an entirely different way. Ultimately, Roku is not going anywhere. It's going to exist as a separate company with about 27% interest in the company itself by the existing shareholders, but 73% is going to be owned by the Fox shareholders. And this is a cash plus stock deal that I think is real happy for everybody involved. It's not happy for Disney. Disney spent way too much money trying to be, well, in third, fourth, fifth place. Netflix is still going to be on top, but in over 100 million households globally, they use Roku as their set-top box of choice for all of their streaming, everything in their household, all of their viewing, including YouTube. You don't think they're going to insert ads on top of things or give you offers on your screen somewhere as you're watching? Fox has an opportunity for that ancillary revenue, and it doesn't matter if you have ad-supported tiers or not. There will be additional ads or opportunities that show up on people's screens. Distribution reach is arguably Roku's greatest asset, which is true. Fox controls some of the most valuable live programming in media, including NFL, football, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now they control additional slices of the pie and distribution. This is a big deal. So Tubi and Roku under the same one roof is great. Both of them earn revenue through ads. Tubi is amazing. That's a great platform. I've watched a lot of stuff for free, including James's film, which I'm going to tell you 15 Days is a high-quality film on Tubi you can watch for free. Roku and the Roku channel got a lot to offer there, too. That's two major ad-supported streaming businesses under one roof on top of their own offerings on the channel. According to recent reports, Tubi now boasts more than 100 million monthly active users. Well, yeah. And by the way, there's over 100 million devices that Roku's powered by or powered with Roku, because Roku is actually an operating system. This is weird. If you have 100 million and over 55% of the market when it comes to distributing digital broadcast, digital on-demand product, et cetera, you have an ecosystem that allows for people to purchase materials and store it there. You have the facilitation of those types of systems like Fandango and others, so you digitally can purchase films or view them digitally. Yeah, I think Fox just took the lead, and Lachlan Murdoch is the reason. And this is going to define Fox going forward, when they not only were able to carry all of these things listed on the screen, but financially benefit from them. Whether it be Apple TV, Netflix, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, you can actually purchase these subscriptions through Roku. And again, you pay a small but unseen Roku tax. The people that run these services are paying that. Amazing, neat, and amazing fun. And I think this will benefit everyone, and except for Disney. Disney took the biggest blow here, and that's what all of you need to know. 20th Century offerings weren't all that great, but definitely better than what D- has been putting out since Endgame. 100% true, corporeal being, which included Planet of the Apes, which was rather successful. Anyway, I wanted to explain in greater detail what was going on with the Roku deal, since my article isn't up yet over on That Park Place. Hopefully it will be later today. Probably needs some editing to add additional context, but I approached it strictly from the business side of things, and so should you. You need to understand why the world is running the way it is, and why, the greater threat to democracy is now the commies that are operating the UK and the EU. The fact that the UK is not subservient to the EU, it doesn't seem to matter to current leadership there, who is the most unpopular PM. The king is not necessarily super popular now. I have a feeling we may be on a tipping point where people get frustrated enough to do things. That's a problem. Randall Orser's in the house all the way from Canada. He's a Canadian. He lives in well, believe it or not, a British colony state, Canada. Yeah, and you're bowing down to the EU. You have the most powerful partner right below you, and you're bowing down to the EU. Yikes. That's not good. Jonathan Conroy says, smash the like button. Yeah, enjoy the smash button. And like, subscribe, and share. From the lovely Juliet, thank you very much, dear. You are amazing. I am very sorry what's happening to my friends in the UK. I truly am. And Great Britain, let's make Great Britain great again. Let's do that, too. Moonblade's out there. Says, hello. Hello. Frank Hammett, Frank's here. Frank is here. Say hi to Frank. Once again, a huge shout out and thank you to Ruby Hoof, who gifted the first membership of the day. By the way, we have a goal of getting to 1,000 memberships on this channel. Double check you still have a green name. If not, you might want to consider renewing or creating a new membership for the channel. It's cheap. You can, for the price of a cup of coffee once a month, you can become a member of this channel and get to say things early. Yesterday, I dropped an early video for you, and then I dropped the video later today. or later yesterday. I did 2 videos yesterday plus the live stream. We'll try to do that again today. We already dropped today's video. Supergirl looks rough, guys. The opening is going to be catastrophic. And yeah, not great. Donovan Bradford's out in the world. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see who else is out there. We got great people out there. Weatherman is enduring a headache to be with us. Corporeal Being is reminding you it's a happy taco. Did I say taki? Anyway, Taco Tuesday. Man, my mouth is getting behind my brain. That's not good. I'm starting to start talking like Joe Biden all of a sudden. What else we got out there? We got Brandon Day. What's going on, Brandon? Good morning to you, friend. And Razorbird, one of our favorite rivet heads out there. I am 18 minutes behind on the chat, so bear with me if I did not call your name. It wasn't because I didn't see you. It's because, well, I had to skip down to get to all the generosity that's in the chat, like Texas 84, 12 for 5, Culture Casino Cash, telling me that CC Dude Wipes are awesome. I'm sure they are. I am certain that they are. If my friend Jay promotes a product, first of all, I know he uses it, and second of all, it must be good, right? Right? My pal Jay, otherwise known as Drunk 3PO. Yeah. So Dude Wipes. You know what? I tell you what, Dude Wipes I would promote. In fact, I might even actually add a promotion right here in the stream for later viewers to see promoting Dude Wipes. I would take an affiliate marketing deal with them or some kind of marketing deal with them if like people say they work. Yesterday, I was introduced to them by the unlikeliest of candidates, Sparky the dog, or Scruffy the dog, who sounds like Sparky. Anyway, Scruffy, I was hanging out over on Floral from Under a Rock. I was in the doghouse yesterday with Scruffy. He left a little presence around the yard for Floral to come clean up. That was a lot of fun. Our wonderful friend, Tender Warrior, who's so gracious and generous, gives 5 Culture Casino memberships out there, making the names green again. Make Culture's chat green again. That's right. Please do that. That'll be amazing. Of course, I already highlighted Juliet all the way from the UK with £2 sterling. That's proper money. And I thank you very much, Juliet. Yeah. So let's catch up with you in the chat as well. Look at all these wonderful people. You lost me a Dude Wipes. I don't know much about that. Like you said, eat more fiber. All right. It's just wet wipes. I have no idea. It was a weird show. I was part of a weird show yesterday. But hey, man, if they're a thing, Penny is in the house. Penny. Good morning, dear. An awesome one. I rated from another stream talking about all the foreigners loving how much they love America. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And that's been happening a lot. The people came over for the World Cup and ran to Buc-ee's. I don't blame them. Pretty awesome stuff. They ran to Walmart. They ran to the places they'd heard about but didn't quite believe. America's pretty great. Folks from the UK trying biscuits and gravy for the first time in the States. That's mind-blowing. Fried chicken, all kinds of stuff they can't get there. Of course, maybe they're better off for it as far as health, but it's not bland, Water is good, guys. I have coffee here. Just need to mix in some water there before my heart decides to take off and join something else, not my body. Let's see. I thought that mouth comment was going in a different direction, Culture, but I don't judge. Oh, sorry about that. A runoff day here in Georgia. Hopefully, prayfully, we get the right candidate in place. It should be good. Larry, the name's so nice, you say it twice. Larry. LG TVs use WebOS, which came from Palm Pre. I think it's now part of Samba, but I could be wrong. Samsung had its own OS for a while, but I think they eventually succumbed to Samba, which is the other major player. 2/3 of the digital distributed market for set-top or device-connected, like TV-directed, content is Roku. 1/3 is Samba. And that's why I always look, when I look at Samba numbers, when it comes to streaming numbers, I already know what I'm looking at. And here's the weird thing. The app itself for Disney Minus actually tracks everything you watch. You gave it permission, whether you decided to or not. It's a setting buried deep in the settings in Disney Minus that allows them to use real-time numbers for what you view when you quit something, and that actually leads to why things get canceled. Believe it or not, like The Acolyte and stuff like that. So our friend Canoles is out there. Good to see you. And, of course, we have Infiat, otherwise known as the Grim Dark. Good to see you as well. Look at Siege Perilous out there, as does the Cup. Well, lots of things are good. What else is happening right now? It's happening. Vote Restore. Please do so, guys. Please, please, please. Let's get the UK fixed fast. Can you imagine if I were U.S. president right now? In my mind, I would be like, we can no longer do business with countries that don't have freedom of speech because you're no longer a proper democracy. Bruce Newhouse. Hey, look. I mean, while I don't use them, I could pour liquid into them and show how absorbent they were, honestly. Okay. Look, here's the thing. There are ad reads available, especially on the Green Machine, that I could certainly benefit from. But, yeah. I need them over here on the tube as well. So, where the audience is. WJB Daily walked out to a juvenile bald eagle sitting on my truck's tailgate this AM. USA, indeed. Yeah, I would have just taken pictures. I would not have moved the eagle. You probably did. You probably just sat there and stared, or pulled out your phone or whatever. This country is amazing. The stuff that can just be where it is. And one of the bigger problems, though, is because we don't do wildlife management. That eagle could have other, problems. Although it is an apex predator to some extent. Yeah, it is what it is. Wow. Oh, that's right. Waffle House was another one that the UK folks were going crazy, or Europeans were going crazy for. Wild stuff. Cat Slave says, we don't have bikes out here. What? Bikes? Oh, Buc-ee's. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. Yeah, Buc-ee's is amazing. This morning in my neck of the woods, a brand new Buc-ee's opened up at like 5:30 a.m. I'm gonna grab a couple of people that I know that are content creators out here in the next few days, drive out there with them or meet them there, and we're gonna like go crazy and explore with our cameras and microphones. I think it'll be fun. I've heard so much about yellow school buses. Europeans just didn't believe that we had yellow school buses. Yes, since forever, like the 50s, maybe even before that. Was weird. What color are your buses? Red? I don't know. I mean, you want people to know what they are. Red and yellow makes sense. Primary colors. Blue's not a good one. Blue is a background color, but of the three primary colors, yellow's a good choice. Right? Yeah. Look at you guys. There's the talented one here, Andy Masterson. Happiness is a clean tuchus. Well, I gotta talk to Jay about getting a Dude Wipes promotion. There's that. And this is the other thing. The smart TV pool is selling all your habits. Well, so is the Roku. So is anything that's Samba. Most connected devices are You're the Product, which is why they're selling it near cost. When you go to your Walmart and you see that TCL television that's 65 inches or 108 inches or 2,000 inches or whatever it is now, where you basically need like an aircraft transport to get it into your living room, that TV is sold at cost, which makes it dirt cheap because guess what? You're the product. That's the thing. Yeah, I had a Roku stick when they first came out. They worked very well. The problem is they didn't have enough heat sink. So there's that. What? YouTube keeps kicking you from the stream? I'm not doing it. Holy cow, One Punch Man Tolkien fan is in the house. Good to see you, friend. Man, I got to watch one of my favorite parts of an episode. It was so great. All right, what else we got out there? We got lots of people out here today. Who else is out there? The TV samples audio, and if your remote has a microphone, which Roku's do, everything said near the remote. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. You're surprised they know how many people are streaming a show? No, I'm not surprised at all. I'm telling you that they know. They know what's popular. They know what's not popular. And yeah. Guys, there's a thing going on I wasn't going to talk about today, and I'm not going to bring up an article. But the fact that Major League Baseball is warning 3 San Francisco Giants not to write biblical phrases on their hat. Now, mind you, players have been writing things on the inside of the bill of their hat forever. But it's because they were being forced to wear pride gear, pride-inspired gear. So they wrote biblical verses on the inside of their hat. Little counter programming there. For some people, anyway. So the league's warning them. I think baseball could find themselves looking at, the antitrust exemption again, just like football is. So being forced to wear something that doesn't jive with your belief system, imagine trying to impose that on somebody with a Muslim faith, or anything else. You can't impose either direction, so you shouldn't. You know what I mean? Violating somebody's rights? Well, it's not part of the uniform. Well, neither is this other thing. You just started adding it. Like I said, I see the argument from both sides, but I think that, antitrust exemptions come with a greater service to everyone. John, the Beagle Dad, says, how about countries that support mass migration? Well, I think they're destroying their country for a reason. Import the third world, become the third world. That's a problem. And the thing is of any of the countries around the globe, the U.S. is the most diverse. So miss me with any argument that's counter to that, because it's a lie. Monocultures exist around the world currently. And when they are challenged, oftentimes you have extreme violence, like just take a look at what's been happening in Africa for the last 100 years. Multiculturalism is not a strength. If people try to maintain or retain their culture and they don't blend into what's around them, they don't assimilate, that's the fancy word. They don't become part of a melting pot. They don't melt in. That's not good. Trying to impose their cultures on the society that they decided to join, oftentimes, in this case of this country, illegally, overstaying visas, expired student visas. I could go on and on. Yeah, it's not good stuff. So, yeah, we've done business with plenty of countries that don't have free speech. True story. I'm just saying, you start closing doors, you're no longer going to have access to this, that, the other thing. We're not going to help you catch up in AI. Why would we? You're going to become a rival and maybe an enemy someday. You're siding with China's version of tyranny. Why would we want to empower you? You have to look at it larger. This is true. We're not a democracy. We have democratic practices, but we're a we're a republic, a representative republic. We also have something that doesn't exist in most other countries, or any country that I know of, the Electoral College, so that we don't have pockets of majority places controlling entire populaces, not outright mob rule, which is bad news, guys. We don't want any part of that. John's here. Good morning. Xanthan gum is also absorbent, but do we really need a demo? Well, I mean, if you're going to try to show people how to make aircrete, that's one of the places you start. You start with some denatured alcohol, some xanthan gum, some dish detergent, and then you add water and you stir. First of all, the denatured alcohol makes the xanthan gum start to react already to become more of a what it's supposed to be. The dish detergent adds to that, and when the final step is adding the water, you start to create the basis for a nice sticky mass of stuff, a thickening agent. That's what xanthan gum is. Then take all of that and mix it 1 part to 2 parts cement, and all of a sudden you have aircrete. If you mix it appropriately, you take a bladed mixer on the end of your drill, just like you'd mix a thin set or anything else, and you can make aircrete. You can pour that aircrete into a mold, and all of a sudden you have a fire retardant, or fire repellent cement that's very lightweight. People can use for insulation, paving stones, whatever. The neat thing is the more air you get into it, the more it'll actually allow for pass through, because of the air structure that exists within the concrete. So it actually can aid in draining on a footpath or something like that. Wild stuff. So xanthan gum can be used for good things and bad things. Oftentimes in food, it's a filler, which makes you think you're getting more than you actually are, which that makes it bad. Not great in your system either. Different conversation. Max Headroom, by the way, one of my favorite icons from the 80s and 90s. Speech is free as long as it's the right speech. Well, that's the problem, especially in the UK. And look, they're not really banning, platforms like YouTube, because obviously my friends in the UK can see me right now, but they have surrendered their identity to the government, who can now track them via their social media, which is filthy. Absolutely filthy. Leak the depends to a home farming accessory. Well, there you go. Eagles are just cute vultures. I'm not sure I agree with that, but okay. Okay. Look at all these great people. Yep, we sold wheat to Russia for years, and those in the years people said anything about US, they disappear. Well, there you go. Yeah, Bass Pro Shop, amazing. Yeah, the folks from Europe who come here and they go to a Bass Pro or a Cabela's are like, what the? Yeah, we have sporting goods stores or malls. Let's just call it a mall, because both of those places are malls. Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, just a big mall for sporting goods. Everything, rifles, optics, handguns, boats, trawlers, power boats, speed boats, pontoon boats, sport boats. We got kayaks, rafts. We've got camping gear for days, clothing, boots, knives, you name it. Wild stuff. People don't believe it, but yeah. We need to do a Buc-ee's meetup. That's true. Let's see. When I'm going to be in the East Coast towards the middle of July. I'll be traveling through once again through Tennessee. A couple days there to look at land, then East Tennessee, and then traveling to the Carolinas, passing through North Carolina to South Carolina. So I'll see y'all. And going to be in Greensboro, which I think is North Carolina, although I think the event said South Carolina for some reason. Anyway, we're going to be in Greensboro for the Southeast Game Exchange, along with a lot of other YouTube personalities. I'm sure we can squeeze in a Buc-ee's meetup for an hour. That'll be a lot of fun. You could buy the America 250 gear at Buc-ee's right now. All of you Europeans should buy some. Red, white, and blue. You wear the flag in your home nation. They had a great Hawaiian shirt there. Good stuff. Yep, I have a Buc-ee's hat and a Buc-ee's inflatable. Going to start doing that. Yeah, Bible verses on players' hats. Yeah, exactly. And what do they want to do? They want to stop that. Why? Well, it's a direct. I'm not sure if a repudiation is, but it's in direct conflict with the pride stuff. Why is MLB trying to still push pride despite all these other corporations dumping it? Realizing that we're trying to elevate people to more equal than other people. For a whole month. We don't even do that with veterans. We are ridiculous on Memorial Day and Veterans Day, but we're giving a whole month over to this other nonsense. And again, I have no problem with my friends that are gay and lesbian, none whatsoever. I'm just not going to become a party to pushing the idea that some people are more equal than others, which is exactly what DEI was doing. You can't fix history in the current, in the present. You just can't. You can't even pretend that you're not discriminating at that point. That's all you're doing is discriminating. I don't do that. The albatross has the longest wingspan. For my height, I have an incredibly wide wingspan. Yeah. By the way, I don't think I'm 5'9" anymore. I think I'm now down to 5'8" because of age. I'm going to need to try to decompress my spine, try to get those discs to give back some of the springiness in my height. So, but I always played basketball like I was 6'4". I was a 5'9" kid that could dunk a basketball in high school. So. Stop being fruity, CC. All right. Has Hobo Gandalf's H-1B visa expired? Using the bologna sausage thing. What else is happening? The melting pot theory can work, and it did, unless they don't want to be melted. And that's the problem. You cannot come to or you shouldn't be able to come to the United States unless you're willing to give way to the natural culture in the country. Dave Bob is here. Very smart rooster indeed. Minnesota is an example of where nothing melts. There is no melting pot. There is a cultural takeover in various parts of that state, which is ridiculous. Yes, and before Lyndon Johnson, kind of a scumbag, the crime level in big cities was not a problem. When Johnson did we're going to have, I don't even know what to do with that. Not sure what that's alluding to, so I'm going to avoid it. Culture Casino, so we don't suffer the tyranny of numbers. Well, yeah. Yes, we are a constitutional federal republic. You know what else is a federal republic or a republic? Texas. Texas is everything to be its own country. California doesn't. California is in enormous amounts of debt right now. Phenomenal. And this is, well, I mean, technically there's an EU clause, but here, I don't believe in the EU to begin with. I think the EU went from being a trade organization to a tyrannical, like, overlord run by the WEF. I thought it was always a bad idea from the very beginning. Countries should be what they are, which is why Germany would still be leading Europe if in every area if they had not bent the knee to this idea of the EU. And the people there are turning it back. The AfD is going to eventually win out. Nobody likes Merz. He's one of the least popular leaders ever in Germany's history. And that's saying an awful lot. So, yeah, no bueno. Hey, Mr. DeMarc's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, Culture Science Minute. True story. Sorry about the Aircrete thing, but yeah. Da-da-da-da. I'm going to scroll. I'm so far behind you guys. 7 minutes behind. Jumbie, Nah, eagles hunt. True story. Vultures are carrion birds. Yeah, it's true. 2 member chats. Okay, let's get to them. Let's go looking for the celebrate, dance to the music from Dave Bob, who's been here for 30 months almost at this point. Modern entertainment is a vast wasteland. Yes, Disclosure Day didn't do anything to help it. Terrible film. Coming up this weekend, we've got Toy Story 5, derivative for the girls. You know, people are trying to say, well, wait a minute, Buzz and Woody are in it. Well, Stanton, the writer, said he wrote a draft without Woody in it, trying to figure out if it was there was still a story for Woody to be a part of. It turns out, that would have been widely rejected by the audience, so he brought him back. But they're not a massive part of the story. The guys aren't. Woody and Buzz, no. Plus, they don't like Tim Allen politically. He's too realistic. He's not lefty enough. So just be prepared. When you go see Toy Story 5, it is led by Jesse, who they passed the badge to, they say, in Toy Story 4, which is why Toy Story 4 didn't hit very hard. It earned just over $1 billion, which, again, enormous money. Congratulations. Trading on the first 3, which were good. But 4 was awful. People don't remember it fondly, and now we're getting more of it in 5. But anyway, it's led by Jesse. The toys are led by Jesse. It becomes Jesse's room. And it's Bonnie's story. Alan Ing spoke favorably about it, and I don't see it. So I'm going to see the film, so you don't have to, this weekend. Hopefully I can drop my review on Friday. And I will tell you, honestly, what I think. I'm going to do the same thing with Supergirl in a week and a half. In fact, if you watch today's video, which I encourage you to do after this, check it out. I think you're going to be surprised because I don't seem thrilled. I really don't seem thrilled. Biggles Metz is out there celebrating 66 months, guys. Get your kicks on month 66. Thank you, Biggles. Biggles, we got to do a meetup at Buc-ee's. Everything is well. My health is nearly 100%. Kind of figured out some of the issues with the medications and what conflicts with the medications, and that's good. And some of the medications I'm trying to get rid of, hopefully before I head out east. Who else is out there? We got great people out there, like Bruce Newhouse. What's up? Fink has the Rothschild family as his bosses. True story. Look, if you can get rid of the 13 families or the 12 families that still survive, not in a bad way. I'm not saying like eliminate them from the planet. I'm just saying if you could get rid of their power or their ability to wield power through money, the world would be a better place. There'd be far less conflict. People trying to manipulate things. Some people are allowed to become fabulously wealthy and others are prevented from it. Some become fabulously wealthy despite the system actively working against them. Those are the people they consider dangerous that we hold up as heroes. Or at least people to aspire to become because they beat the system. You have to figure out a way to beat the system. So you beat the system to the punch by becoming more powerful in the areas that they are pursuing. So, yeah. Michael J. Mallory says the obvious thing. Rednecks for the win. Indeed. Look at that mallard. Double mallards, double ducks. Yeah, and this is the thing, Black, yeah. I don't care about Toy Story at the age of 35, and most people don't. Did you pass it down to your kids? Did you put your kids down in front of a TV to watch the first 1, 2, or 3 Toy Story? Probably, especially in the young ages. Teens aren't going to be into this. This is not going to be the 4-quadrant film they want it to be. And the old people that go are going to be like, what the heck happened to this? Why does this have so much political nonsense in it? Why is this so aimed at the ladies in a way that the other films weren't? WJB Daily says the obvious. Toy Story 4 only made money because TS 1 to 3. The public now know how to learn the truth before going about the politics of films. Yeah, and that's the problem, right? And this is the same reason things become less relevant, less interesting, and less engaging. And look, it bears out in the numbers. I've been talking a little bit about what Quorum does as opposed to what Parrot Analytics was trying to do. Quorum, the way that that's structured analytically, is it measures four elements of interest in films and television and other things, um, to come to a conclusion about whether or not something will be successful as a film, television program, whatever. So first, you have awareness. Awareness is important. We live in an economy, an attention economy. Let's say we also live in something called the she economy or the she economy, which is actually destroying the world. But that's a different conversation we can get to another time. But because we are in an attention economy, the things that get the most attention or are presented more in our focus on the regular are things that we are, well, seeing. And that's why you have targeted marketing through X and many other platforms and the way that they do television and film advertising, including even previews. So the attention of all of those things is to bring up our awareness of a coming film or television program. So an awareness score can be high, but then you have to measure the product's appeal. And again, in this case, we're talking about media as a product. You can get into conversations around Marshall McLuhan and stuff like that and understand that. Going back, gosh, to the 50s and 60s when television started to become the mechanism it became. But the next thing, like I said, is interest. So awareness and interest. Interest is the measurement of if you're invested enough to consider seeing something. The interest numbers for Toy Story 5 are not crazy high, but what's happening? CultureCasino Emergency Services Wrestling Channel coming to a screen near you. Well, there you go. Thank you for the $5 super chat. That would be crazy. Anyway, so these are things that are measured by Quorum. So you have awareness, interest, and then they have two other measures. One, if it's fee or free. And they have two different levels of that. One level is, are you going to pay for it in a theater, or are you going to wait till it goes to streaming? And then if it does go to streaming, are you willing to pay a streaming fee, right? Like a direct digital purchase to rent or watch something or own it? Or are you going to do free ad-supported streaming? Those are the most important questions because it's going to tell you what will become of films, television, and other things like that. Well, lots of people are invested in HBO productions like House of the Dragon, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I guess the Dunk and Egg story, whatever. Lots of people are invested in that. So that's a fee. They're going to wait. They're going to pay the premium to maintain a service so they can see that show. So that's a fee. But if you're not willing to pay the premium to have it on, a streaming service, you might be interested if it was free. But interest is kind of the one that everybody needs to pay attention to if they're in the movie business. Because if you don't have a high enough interest score, that means the theaters are going to be empty. Here's the other problem. When you take a look at demographically at across the board who's interested in seeing something, you need to pay attention who that is. And that should be who the product, the film, the television show, it should be made for. The question everybody asks in this sphere, and you probably ask every day, who was this made for? This is something that all the spreadsheet warriors don't understand about media. Because they never really were in the media business. They just wanted to get their MBA and work in the business of film or television. They've never been qualified. They never had real world experience, and they don't quite understand what it is that gets people in the door. With the Disclosure Day film, it was Spielberg name recognition that got people interested. It wasn't the name. The title is terrible, Disclosure Day. But it was always going to be aimed at old people. And Blackie out there is 35. It wasn't aimed at that. It wasn't aimed at his demographic. It's aimed at the older people that still trust Spielberg for some unknown reason. His last few efforts have been quite trash, including West Side Story. But when you roll it back, those are the things that we're looking at these days. So if you don't understand who your audience is and you want the broadest possible audience, you become hyper focused on a niche that maybe isn't going to get you the viewership that you want. It's also not going to land you people who are going to repeat view this. As somebody in their 50s, that would be me, getting into the years where I'm just not going to spend money anymore at all, getting me to go to a movie is largely driven by you. Now, I'm going to see something so you don't have to. And I've been saying that for years on my review videos because that's really what I believe. I'm a consumer advocate for you when it comes to films. If a film is good, I'll tell you, even if I don't like, the people making it or the people in it or whatever. Same thing would have happened with Snow White. If Snow White was any good, I would have said so, right? But I try to leave my prejudices when it comes to these actors, actresses, and even directors and writers at the door. It's really going to be hard when I walk in the door for Supergirl, but I'm going to do it and give this failed material a chance. Because even the books, whether they were critically acclaimed or not, only sold about 70,000 copies max ever that were around The Woman of Tomorrow. And that was only because it was announced that The Woman of Tomorrow was going to be made into a film. Otherwise, it only sold 20,000 copies when it originally came out. That's how poor Tom King's run was. That's not good. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted commie CIA boy writing their comics because they knew what he was. He's a male feminist, and he was pushing, weakening of men. Anyway, so they should be really focused in on, 4 quadrants, and they're not. So Disclosure Day got the 50-year-old pluses. They're not going to go back and see it. Word of mouth was terrible. It got a B Cinema score. B Cinema scores aren't good, guys. You think like, hey, in school, a B was pretty good. No, it was okay. It was better than a C. You were better than average or above average. But when it comes to films, it's not the same thing. Because when you look at it, and when it correlates to money, Bs are not the top earning films. They are not 10 poles. This was a tent pole, or supposed to be. It was supposed to perform like one, and it's not gonna. The fall off's going to be staggering this coming weekend, especially since competition arrives in the form of a 4-quadrant movie, which I still argue is really only 3, because it's going to alienate a lot of people. I'm not sure an older demographic's going to show up. It's only 2 quadrants. It's kids and families. It's not going to be the older folks, the professionals and the grandparents and grandkids. It's not going to include those folks. It's not going to have a broad enough appeal because of the type of action and the kind of presentation. It's not a live action film. It's an animation. That also is a limiting factor. So, yeah. I mean, and again, this is how analysts should approach these things, but they don't. It's why I don't really trust modern studio executives, because they don't understand what makes something successful. In a pitch meeting, if you do a 25-word or a quick 2-minute elevator pitch, you're trying to relate to the person you're talking to what this film is like, what this TV show is like that you've seen before, that has been very popular. Then you're also trying to present who could be starring in the film or directing it or whatever it is. You're trying to get all that information into that 2 minutes. This is Starsky and Hutch updated for a modern audience. Okay, what does that mean exactly? This is a couple of undercover cops, that we're going to have a lot of car chases with, that's going to be basically 21 Jump Street, only better, a little more gritty, a little more realistic, a little less jokey. Okay. Is that an elevator pitch that you would buy? I don't know. Seems like there's some limited appeal there. Maybe in your elevator pitch you compare it to Fast and the Furious, but more law enforcement oriented. Okay. Well, right now, the political landscape isn't favorable to law enforcement for some reason. There's a political party out there right now campaigning against law enforcement and enforcing the laws. So, does that limit your appeal? There you go. I mean, like I said, we don't have anybody in modern entertainment that analyzes what it is they're doing anymore. Which is why, again, I'm trying to have these conversations regularly with you guys, because they don't know what's appealing. You do. So when you make comments on a video, know this. I'm reading them. I'm responding to them. In fact, right now, I think I'm the vast majority, and I had over 8,000 views on my review of Disclosure Day, which we should have just called Disappointment Day. The people who went to see the film agreed with me largely. There are a few people that took exception to what I was saying, but when I tracked them down, I was like, oh, this is being done in support of their social media posts, which is shilling for this particular thing. And that's okay. I don't fault you for making money or being paid to produce posts and things like that. I think Luis Fernando is maybe trying to do it in good faith. There are a lot of people that do that. If your account's called Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I think I already know who you work for. And DEI is the death of creativity and the rise of subpar everything. And I think that's what we're suffering right now. Merit has to be included. Thank you, Michael J. Mallory, saying the 4 W's and H. That's right. Who, what, why, where, and how. Also a way to approach it a pitch, by the way. So Blackest says, I'd rather have a Batman live-action TV show. So would I. You know what? Look, you can treat it in two different ways. You can take a very serious approach to it, right? You can. Spider Noir, very serious approach to comic book material that looks really phenomenal. Or you can take a 60s, 70s approach to it. Make it funny. Make the Rogues Gallery entertaining and inept eventually. Crouching Taylor, hidden Swifty. Matt G. Yeah, perhaps. I didn't say it exactly that way, but I did say that people, there were a few people that definitely I could trace back to their social media. If you were a partner on something, Warner Brothers partner, what do you think that person's going to say about a product? I'm a partner to nobody. I paid my own money to go see that film. And that's fair criticism of me. If you're calling me an extreme narcissist. I'm not going to tell you I'm right, you're wrong outright. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Objective, subjective. You've got different ways to approach things. But unlike many people, I'm going to walk in a theater and I'm going to give you my honest reaction to something. Even with all my built-in prejudices that I may have had going into it. Once I step across the threshold of the theater, if it's a good movie, I'm going to tell you. I've said it before. This film surprised me. And not everybody's going to agree with me. Tom and I disagreed widely on Motu. It hit me differently. And that's okay. SFX at 314 Sabertooth Raptor says, bye. I'll see you later, my friend. We got great stuff coming up here soon. I think WDW Pro is next. Got a lot of other people out there going live. Holy cow, Spaceship Vampire's back. Hello. A lot of people have put Batman on a pedestal, though. It wouldn't surprise me if the general consensus is that if you're going to make a serious live-action Batman show, the expectation... I'll find it. There it is. Right there. In that every episode is going to have to be one of the best things anyone's ever seen. Emphasis on best things. Yeah. This might have been why I was let down by the previous iteration called The Batman. I didn't think it was very good. And because Pattinson was so typecast for so long, that probably ate into my psyche in a way that I wasn't willing to expand to accept Sparkle Pants Batman, Sparkle Vampire Batman. Maybe, and despite my best efforts, I really did try to go into that with an open mind. Of course, that was also, I think, released during the age of Project Popcorn, which may have hurt it severely. I don't go to the theater, so in 2 years I can form an opinion. But Godzilla Minus One sucked. Oh, I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it. I absolutely loved it. Is Seabrew out there? What's up? Look at all these great people out there. Hey, Project Cambrian's out there. Hey, CC, the trailer for Shrek just dropped, and the Gingerbread Man twerks. What? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Really? Man, that might be a video today. We'll see. Blackia says, Smallville was a CW. Yeah. Not a network known for great stuff, and the show was good. Although it did frustrate me that the man who could fly was not flying for a long time on that show. The latest Superman show on CW before it got acquired was pretty good too. I haven't heard many things about The Batman, another stupid, uninspired movie title. True. I love Batman, but I don't need to watch a 3-hour-long generic film about him. Yeah, and again, it was supposed to be a year one creation, Spaceship Vampire, and it didn't really feel that way. Oh, the animation was brilliantly well done. The voice acting is sparkling. Even Mark Hamill, who I don't like. Yeah. What is apparently an entire tacked on Act 4. It's just weird. Can we remove twerking from existence, please? Jumby, look, if I were king of the world, there are several things I'd be like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Somebody said I was muted. Really? There was a muted response to the box office. Somebody asked me on social media, and I tried to, and again, I pay attention to my social media. So if you make comments on one of my posts or whatever, chances are I'll see it because it's in my mentions. Oh, also, apparently, I'm now part of Community Notes, so I can now approve and or agree with or disagree with a community note. I can even write community notes and provide context for community notes. So it's kind of exciting. Anyway, there was a muted response to the box office. That's why I titled my video what I did the other day. And what I meant by that is there is a $60 million difference in the domestic box office from weekend to weekend. That's a substantial loss. Especially when we need to be closer to 200 million in the box office like we were in 2018, 2019, but we're not. And that's despite massive inflation and massive ticket price increases. They have fewer butts and seats overall, and they're still not getting there. That's a problem. I think that number will correct itself with Toy Story 5. And I don't think it'll be at risk in the second week of Toy Story 5, despite the fact that I still think, and somebody posted today on the video as a comment. Again, I read the comments in the videos, guys. That's why I like to have a conversation there with you, just like I do here on the show. But we can't afford, or exhibitors can't afford, more muted box office response every weekend. It just doesn't work. That doesn't work in the model. The financial model only works if in the summer, when we have our tent poles and we have the majority of the population available to go see films on the weekends, we actually fill the theaters out. Now, what are the issues there? Well, either you have good things that everybody wants to go see, or you don't. That's the deciding factor, which is why I was talking about awareness and interest. People were aware of Mo2, but they didn't have any interest. Now, you have to analyze why that was the case. Was it poor marketing? Maybe, although I thought I saw plenty of that. Was it bad word of mouth? Well, not right away, despite Tom's, rant and everything else. Or was it previous damage from Kevin Smith? Previous damage from Kevin Smith weighed very heavily on whether or not people were interested in going to see Mo2 because it had already been feminized and destroyed. So, anyway. Yeah, see, and Brandon, the anime guy, says, yeah, going to the cinema is not my priority list. Oh, how did your interview or conversation go the other day? I know Biggles had a conversation with another big anime person, but I think you did too recently. So, yeah, I'm going to have to tune into both of those. It's going to be fun. Man, Biggles is working hard. Love that guy. Let's see. Everybody's got to get moving on to the other things. Plus, we've got Pro coming up. So I'm going to start to end the show. Guys, for the 110 of you who are here listening to me ramble oddly, hopefully you've found some value in today's show. You guys are why I do this every single weekday. You're why I do the film reviews. I do box office previews. You're why I do the various videos I do. You're why I focus on the business of entertainment. It's you guys, always. So, yeah, if you are a fan of gardening or you like to learn how to do some gardening, check out That Garden Place, my other channel. And as I have been saying for the last 2 months, Campione Reacts will be back. I've got a couple of ladies I'll be working with to make that happen and recovering my actual brain. WG Actual says the amazing thing with a generous $20 super duper chat to say, I hope you find value in this super chat. I do. And I found value in you. And I can't wait to see you, my friend. Although I don't know that I'm making it to Vegas. I want to tell everybody that up front. But because of the $20 super chat, because of the enormity of the gift earlier by Tender Warrior 68, I have to say thanks for the cheddar in the right way.
Oh, man, that's some sweet cheddar. Guys. Yeah.
I love that clip. Thank you, WG Actual, for making me play it. You made me do something. On that note, it's great to see all of you today. Blackia, thanks for stopping by today. I don't get to see you every single day. Jumby, it's great to see you. I'm glad you love that garden place. DJ Ronnie G in the house once again. You're going to be in South Carolina in July. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I will see you there. Knowles, thank you as always. And to the lovely Jill and all the other great moderators out there, Juliet, Ms. Pitcoff, and everybody else, thank you. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others, and until next time, see ya with a dancing hobo Gandalf. Yeah.